Hi, good morning and welcome to Homespun in Wales. My name is Dawn and today is the 1st of January 2026. So happy new year to you all. I hope you all had enjoyed your celebrations if you're out celebrating. We didn't. I was in bed by 10 yeah, I don't do any more of that. It's too old for all that partying. Anyway, it is the 1st of January and the 1st of January means I get to open my January box of work in progresses. So before I do that, I just want to say, right, first off, work in progress bag. This was the first one I made, and I made it last week, and in it I have the plastic canvas Santa. So all fully lined, everything, quite pleased with that. Let me get him out. Oh, this is the only thing really I've been working on through December, works in progress. So if you remember, there he is, worked on plastic canvas. So anyway, I'll give you an update on him. As you know, I got the top banner done, and I'm trying to keep it rolled up. I keep rolling it in different directions to help flatten it. So are you ready? I did get quite a bit of progress done over the past week. Got all of his beard done. His hat is all finished, a candy cane. I've made a start on his sack. That's the cuff for his coat and his hand, and made a start on the tree that he's carrying, and his face is all done. So yeah, there's still a fair amount to go. So I would say that is roughly probably, got hair on my face, probably about halfway. So, and of course now we're at the start of a new month. He's going to get put away, and I will add him to one of the boxes throughout the year, and he'll reappear at some point later in the year. Before we open the January box, I did get a bit of money for Christmas, and I purchased 2 books with some of it. So one of them is the Mending Directory, and it's all different surface mending designs. And the reason I got this is I'm going to take part in a slow stitch stitch along, which is doing meditation scrolls, and it's using all this type of surface stitching. So I thought, treat myself to that book. I quite fancy the idea of doing a bit of slow stitching. The other book I got, A Year of Quilting. This is by Debbie Shaw and Melissa Naylor, and it's a block for every week, 52 blocks, so it takes you through the whole year. But as you can see, they're not your standard blocks. There's lots of applique, there's English paper piecing, there's foundation paper piecing, all sorts. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a block a week, but it's a lovely quilt. And this had actually been on my wish list since it was published. It's a Search Press book, and it was published, I think it was December last year, and it's been on my wish list since then. So that was £15.99 on Amazon. I got that. I'll pop the link down below for both the books, so if anybody's interested. So that's my newbies. So let's open the box. So as you know, I got 12 of these boxes, and I marked them all with the month of the year. I spread all 12 boxes out on a bed, had a big pile of unfinished projects, work in progress, etc. that I'd gathered up from around the house, and they got divided between the 12 boxes randomly, lids on, stacked up, and the first of each month I'm going to pull out a box, work on it through the month, and whatever's left at the end of that month goes back into the box, lid on, and it's put away again to the following year, and I can move on to the next box. Now my January box is a little bit different, because yesterday I was not yesterday, day before yesterday, I was down my cabin having a bit of a tidy up, and I've got, let me show you these. See if I can get them without knocking everything down. I've got 3 of these big box files. This one is New York, and I've got a London, and I've got a Paris. My friend Mandy got them for me a few years ago for Christmas, and I've used them to keep odd bits and pieces in down the cabin. And I thought to myself, I could, I've got machine embroidery quilts that I do, or panels that I do, and there's one I've got, in fact, let me find the one that I have finished, and that'll explain it that bit better. Right, this is a big blooms panel from Hoffman, and with a collaboration with Stitch Delight. Hold it back there. So the panel is printed by Hoffman, and I don't know if you can see, but there's an embroidery design all over the whole panel, and that is by Stitch Delight. And this was the, is it Big Blooms or was it Dream Big? Can't remember. Big Blooms, I think it is. So, and that was the first one I did. That was her first one as well. You can see the design better on the back. And then she brought out a few more, working again with Hoffman. So, well, Hoffman printed out a few more, and she did the embroidery designs for them. And I thought, oh, is it Hoffman? Yeah, it is Hoffman. So I got the next one, which, hang on, let me look at the little strip on the side. Right, this one is the Dream Big leaf one. That was the daisy. This is the leaf, and it's the print is by Jenny Summerall, and it is a Hoffman. It's by Hoffman Fabrics, and like I said, the embroidery design is Stitch Delight. And whenever she launches a new one, she does it at a special offer price. So this, as you can see, I've been working in variegated threads all over this. I've got about, well, I've got all that centre bit done, so I've still got all the outside, so I suppose I've got about 1/3 of it done, and then the rest of it's to be done. So this one, that one I think is more spring. This one I'm classing as my autumn panel. I have got the vintage rose one, and I've got the poinsettia one, neither of which have been started. In fact, the panels, I've got them down the cabin, and I just thought these boxes would be perfect for keeping them in. So that was my plan for them. But when I pulled out the Paris one, the big box files, they are big. When I pulled out the Paris one, inside it was a another hand stitched quilted panel, which I'd forgotten about, which should have been added to a box. So I pulled it out, put it in a project bag, and I've added it to the January box. And this is the project bag. I've made it from 3 orphan blocks, So, and it needed a fairly big bag. So I'll start by showing you that, which has been added to the January box. So it's been taken out of the Paris box and put into this one. And it is called Le Jardin Quilt, from the Girls Own Stitching Club. Now this quilt, I started it, I'm trying to think now, how long ago did I start it? I mean, the Girls Stitching Club, the Girls Own Stitching Club is no longer going, and I have a feeling, hang on, if I find the instructions at the back, there should be a picture of the whole thing. What's that one? I haven't got a colour picture of it. So that's the quilt layout. And each of those little panels is hand embroidered. And I have a feeling this might have been back in, let's see, we moved here 2014. Did we feel 2015? We've been here coming up to 12 years. Yes, 2014 we moved here. And when we moved here, I think I'd already started it. So yes, it's probably about 12 years ago I got it. It's a shame it doesn't say on it a date, but it doesn't. I must get into the habit of writing dates on it. Anyway, it was an online stitching club and it was a free pattern. That's roughly like what the blocks are like. And as you can see, you've got the sashing around the borders around the blocks as well. Yeah, so all of the blocks have got the sashing around them. And you get, of course, all the instructions for doing each block. And I had, as I said, I'd kept it all in the aptly named Paris box. So that's like the type of instructions you get. And usually get a little colour picture of it. And then this is what you're going to trace onto your fabric and do your embroidery. And it's been one of those things I've picked up and done a bit, put it away. And yeah, so it's called Le Jardin Quilt. This latest block is the birdhouse, but let me show you some of the blocks that I've completed. And I've put the borders on. There's 9 blocks in total, so it's not a lot. So there's that one. It's completed. And there's that one. My hand embroidery isn't anything special. That one. So some of the blocks look a bit like seed packets. And there's that one. And now these next blocks, I haven't got the borders put around them yet. There's the window box. So there's bits of applique and, you know, bits of embroidery. So it's not going to be hanging up in the Tate Gallery or anything. Fountain. And the beehive. And the block that is part worked, of course, is the little birdhouse. I was sitting doing a bit of stitching on this last night actually. And there's only one more block to do and then it's finished. And I've got all the strips are cut for doing the borders. Everything's in there. I had a little bag with the floss that I was using. So everything was there in the Paris box. I'll show you the one that's left to come, and then there's one more block to do, then that is it, finished. Right. That's the last one, which goes in the middle of the house. And that's it there. And it's got an applique roof, and I've even got the bit of heat and bond cut out for the roof. So my plan is, in the evenings, it won't take long, a couple of evenings, and that'll be that done, finished. And then I've just got to machine it together. So yeah, so it won't take long to finish at all. But anyway, that is in this nice big project bag. That's definitely going to be a finish in January. So who knows, I might even have it done by the time I do the next video. Right, the next thing, which I have put in a little bag because I pulled it out on one of my other videos to show you. And this is from the, it's a little sample that came, it was a sample kit that came from the Paul and Innocent heirloom quilt book. And I did show what I was doing, and it's a cushion, and I've even found the cushion pad, the tubular one. You can't see that very well, but then that's the bolster cushion, and it's working, and everything came with it. The silk came with it, all the threads came with it, everything. And I had started machining a lot of it, so, and it's there. So it's not far off finished. And there's a bit of piping to do, and the whole idea was to practice all these different stitches using different feet and different needles on your machine before you dive into the big quilt. It's not done with an embroidery machine, it's done with a normal sewing machine. So so after I pulled that out and I saw this little bag sitting there on the side, and I thought, right, I will put that away, and I'm hoping this will be another January finish. You know, like I say, that there's not a lot to do on it. It is just a case of getting stuck in. Right, the next project in here, let me have a look through and save anything to the end. No, that one I'll save to the end. Right, this is a Daydreams cross stitch kit, and all you're doing is this little piece in the middle, and the border, printed border, comes with it and forms your cross stitch design. Actually goes into that border, and it is by, who done it? Daydreams Dimensions. It's a Dimensions kit. It's the hummingbirds and wisteria. Everything was included, including the mounts. That's the chart, we don't want that out. That's the mount. The glass is there as well, the glass is behind it. So as you can see, the mount is printed, and the cross stitch, that's a chart, and it's only a small one, and most of it is done. Now, I remember working on this not last year, year before, and somewhere I had gone wrong, and that's why I'd stopped working on it, and it wasn't matching up with the chart anymore. So no, this isn't the one that's gone wrong. This one, the bits that are left to do are blended, so it's blending strands of floss, and blending the flosses is something I don't like doing, so I put it down, put it away, and it hasn't sort of been, occasionally it's been picked up and I've done the odd stitch. Put all that back in the bag so I don't lose any of it, but yeah, everything is there, and it's still got its needle in it, so I could do with just biting the bullet, getting it finished. I did do another one of these. What else is in the box here? That's the little clips for the frame. I did another one of these. Oh, because I remember I bought a couple of them, and I don't know where it is. I don't know whether it's up in a loft, but I know I got it finished, and I have a feeling it might be in a box up in the loft at some point. I'll have to go up there, get the boxes out and see. But yeah, and I bought this because it was, it said on the back, reward yourself with simple daydream that lets you express your creativity, talent and good taste. Easy enough for a beginner and doable in a weekend. It's a wonderful way to pamper yourself. Well, there is no way, unless you're very experienced, it's on an 18 count, unless you're very experienced, that you could complete this in a weekend, or unless you've got nothing else to do and all you're doing is sitting there and stitching. But there's, yeah, that in real life that wouldn't be happening in a weekend. So there's that project to be done. Now this other one, I'm actually quite ashamed of this one. This one was, it's very, very old. And it's very stained. There's lots of stains on it. Whether they'll wash out or not, I don't know. And this must be 25, nearly 30 years ago I was doing this. And as you can see, I've got over halfway, and it's got a bit of a smell to it as well. Back then I was a smoker, and I haven't smoked now for 15 years. So in fact, there we go. It was 1991, August, September, Needlecraft magazine, 1991. Right, 1991, and forget that it's 2026, 1991's, is that 14 years? 91, 2001. Yeah, 14, 15 years ago that was. I can't really show you a picture of it because all I've got is this sellotaped together tatty bit of a chart. I haven't got any flosses with it. There is a list of floss at the back. It's all been held together with sellotape. And this is the one I had. I know I'd gone wrong somewhere. Right, the top half, the top border was done. I was working down the border there, working down the border there, and doing some of the animals. And it's all animals and birds, woodland, British animals, birds and butterflies. So now I don't know whether I should wash it first, because as I said, it is, you know, badly stained, and or should I just spray a bit of Febreze or something on it to freshen it up, work on it, try and get it finished, and then wash it. Now I'm not sure if there was something wrong. I'm trying to think. I know there was something wrong with the counting, and it totally threw out this bottom half, and I think that's why I stopped working on it. So that's going to take a bit of looking at. I don't even know what it's on. I know you had to supply, it's a countryside sampler chart. Like I say, it's from the August-September Needlecraft magazine, 1991. Is there a list of materials? Well, it's got a list for an 11 aider, a 14 aider and an 18. I have a feeling this one might be a 14 actually. So I really don't know. I don't know whether or whether just to scrap it altogether. I really don't know. Like I say, it is, you know, very old, very stained, and I haven't got the flosses, but there's a list of floss, and it's done in DMC. I know it was done in DMC, and I've got boxes and boxes of DMC. So that one is going to take a bit of thought. So I think that one can wait while I might get one of the other ones finished, out of the way, under my belt, and then look at that one. But I don't think that's going to get finished by the end of January. So that's there's two cross stitch charts. There is a quilted pillow. I have got the Le Jardin Hand Embroidery quilt, and I have got this. This is a very, very, very special quilt top, and it even comes with backing fabric, and it is a completed quilt top. This was made for me by my very good friend Mandy, my sewing buddy, who lives right over the other side of the UK. I'll hold it up here. And she did this quilt top for me 1 year. As a Christmas gift, and it was done during, she'd made it for me, she made it 2020, and I think she gave it to me for Christmas 2021, and I know it was then because it was during COVID, big COVID pandemic thingamajig, but also it was the year she found out she had esophageal cancer, and she was going to be starting chemo and radiotherapy and everything, and she thought she should make a quilt for everybody. So she made me this quilt top and parcelled it up with the backing fabric, and that was my Christmas present. And the reason she didn't quilt it all was because I've got a long arm quilter. She has to quilt either on her sewing machine or by hand. And but because I've got a long arm quilter, she thought I would enjoy quilting it all. I've never quilted it. Initially I thought I'll get it quilted, and so during the year of 2020, I got it December 2021. So during the year 2022, which was just a couple of years ago, and when she was up visiting, because she comes up several times a year, I discussed with her about it, and I said, I'm going to quilt it. But would she have any objections, instead of me making a quilt out of it, turning it into a quilted jacket? And she didn't have any objections. She was quite pleased with that idea, and I bought, I'm just looking to see if I've got them on my shelf here. No, they're in, are they there? No, they're through on the other bookcase. So I started getting a couple of books on quilted jackets, various quilted jacket designs. So the whole idea was, yes, I would have a jacket to wear made from a quilt that she'd made. And she's a very, very dear friend who means an exceedingly, an awful lot to me. I thought there was one there. No, stop looking, Dawn, because it's not there. So that was the plan. So it was finding the right style of jacket. That's why I haven't quilted it, because I haven't found the jacket yet that I want to turn it into. And Mandy got through all her treatment and was in remission and everything. And she'd actually said to me yesterday when we were talking on the phone, and I said, and I thought I could see the quilt there in the box, and I said, the quilt that you made me is in my January box. And she asked if I was still going to make it into a jacket, and I said, yes, I think I am. So I've now got to find a quilting design that I can run through on my long arm, finish off quilting this. I don't need to put the binding on it, not if it's going to be made into a jacket. I don't think it'll be made into a jacket within the next month or so, but it will certainly get all quilted, ready to go. So that is that. So it's all been a bit of a blast from the past, really, this box, and I'm looking forward to getting started. So I would, throughout the rest of the year, the London, New York, Paris boxes will have each of the big bloom panels in with whatever else I need to finish them off. And throughout the year I would like to work on them, and I plan on working on them. I joined a machine embroidery group, oh gosh, couple of months ago, and I'm going on a retreat with them in March, but we do meet up twice a month, and we take our embroidery machines along, and we have all day where we can work. So I plan on doing them panels when I go to that group. Some of the smaller projects in my boxes will go with me to my craft group that I go to on a Wednesday afternoon. So hopefully by the end of January my box will be very empty, but I'll keep you updated each week with how it's going. So that's my unboxing for January the 1st, and I'll catch up with you next week and show you how far I've got with any of the projects. Hopefully I'll have a couple of things to show you. So take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your New Year festivities, if you're having any, or celebrations. We've got snow forecast from tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how much snow we have. I've just seen there's a few more project bags up there. I might pull them down. And I'll catch up with you next week. So take care, everybody. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and notifications. Any questions, if you've got any ideas what I can do with that cross stitch to get the stains out, let me know, because I've never washed a cross stitch before. Should I do it before I finish it? Should I do it after I finish it? It'd be interesting to hear what you've got to say. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and take care.